What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys have had a great weekend, and I hope your Sunday is out to a good start. Welcome to yet another edition of What's on Tap. As I announced yesterday, I decided to move the show to YouTube because Instagram was just playing with my emotions and taking up too much of my time. It took forever to post a video, and I just felt putting it on YouTube would be a lot more convenient for a lot of people who aren't on Instagram because not everybody is on social media like that. If you've been following along from the get go, welcome back. Thank you as always for tuning in and following along with me. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I hope you're doing well and thank you for stopping by. And you're probably wondering, what's the show all about? I can gladly tell you this is where in this instance today, I'm looking back at what caught my eye the previous day of football, and I'm looking ahead to what's on tap for today's schedule in the NFL. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Week 4 of college football, that's crazy. It just seems like it all just started yesterday, and here we are, about to be in week 5. Ain't that something? Game of the day probably took place in Winston-Salem. Clemson Tigers, Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I really thought Wake was going to beat them. They can make the best defenses look bad, and that's what Sam Hartman and Wake Forest did. This game needed 2 overtimes, and Clemson did prevail by a score of 51-45. Really like what I saw from DJ Ungalale. I don't know if I said that correctly, but he was in control of the game, made key throws when he needed to, and Clemson made a stop defensively when they had to. The inexperience of that Clemson secondary was really on display yesterday. It's freshman, and Sam Hartman took advantage of that. Another game, Florida, Tennessee. Florida, Tennessee. Rivalry game, SEC. My first time getting to preview the game. First time getting to see Hendon Hooker play in Tennessee. They ended up winning that game by a score of 38-33. Like what I saw from Anthony Richardson because he was able to push the ball up and down the field when they said he couldn't. But Tennessee just had a little too much in the gas tank. And here they are, 4-0. They prevailed. A couple of upsets took place. Miami, wow. Against Middle Tennessee? Really? Miami's not back, nor is Texas. Texas lost to Texas Tech, and then Oklahoma fell short to Kansas State, which really doesn't surprise me because Kansas State always plays Oklahoma tough. Almost saw another upset in Oregon with Oregon State and USC. USC prevailed. Jordan Addison called game, and USC, I think they're going to move up. Michigan had a little bit of a tough time with Maryland, but they were able to prevail. Alabama won, which was expected. Everybody's going to be talking about Georgia today. They gave up more than 13 points. They gave up 22 points to Kent State, which is fine. I mean, look at the way they've been dominant these last couple of years. And how about Ohio State just beating the absolute brakes off the Wisconsin Badgers? This offense is getting healthier and healthier by the week, and they're going to be scary when Jackson Smith and Jigba is back and he's healthy on the field. Notre Dame, they beat North Carolina, and that's all that pretty much caught my eye in college. Let's talk about what's on tap for what's catching my eye in the NFL today. Some of the early games. Bengals, Jets. The Bengals are 0-2. Offensive line isn't fixed. But I think if there were ever an opportunity to get right, this is it today because the Jets can't rush the passer and they can't stop the run. So I'm expecting a lot of Joe Mixon, and I expect that offensive line to get it right today. Chiefs, Colts at Lucas Oil, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes. Indy, I feel they're putting a little too much pressure on Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Indy, I feel like they're putting a little too much pressure on Matt Ryan. Excuse me. Run Jonathan Taylor. Build your offense around him. Defensively, they're not getting off the field, and they're going to have their hands full today when they play Kansas City because Mahomes has been on a tear so far. Arguably, the game of the afternoon could be the game of the week. Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins. Finally, a big game in the AFC, as I said in the preview, that doesn't include the New England Patriots. Miami, they're riding high after that win last week against the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Baltimore and Buffalo. They've just been steamrolling their competition. Beat the Rams by 21, beat the Titans by 34. I can't wait to sit down and check that game out. Speaking of the Ravens, see how they bounce back today. They go to Foxborough. Ravens, Patriots, Lamar Jackson, Bill Belichick. Can't wait to see the game plan that Belichick has to try and limit Lamar Jackson. Saints, Panthers, both teams are looking to bounce back in that one. Another interesting one of two 0-2 teams that made the playoffs last year. Las Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans. Someone's going to be 0-3, unfortunately. Or the game could end in a tie. You never know. Some of the later afternoon games today. Rams, Cardinals. This is their first time meeting since that playoff matchup last year. Packers, Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Potentially the final meeting between two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks and two of the best ever to do it. However, both quarterbacks kind of come in with different pieces around them. Brady won't have Mike Evans as he's suspended. Julio Jones is a game time decision. Go figure. Chris Godwin's not playing. The Buccaneers signed Cole Beasley and they elevated him to the active roster. You know, the Packers and their receiving core issues. So I could see this really being a defensive football game. Jaguars, Chargers, first meeting between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. If Justin even plays, because he's dealing with that rib injury he suffered in week 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Tonight, San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson is very familiar with these 49ers and has a pretty good track record against them. Then tomorrow night, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants to end things on Monday Night Football. That's all I have for today. How can you keep up with me? Log on to the website, which is thedailyblitz.blog. Follow us on Twitter at dailyblitz_61. Follow us on Facebook. Go to the search box, type in The Daily Blitz, and hit the like. Give us a like, and follow us on Instagram, which is at thedailyblitz_61. How can you keep up with me on the airwaves? Monday Evening Quarterback every Monday night. I'm sure it's going to be another jam-packed show once again. Then right after that, every Monday night and Tuesday night, you can catch me on Prime Sports World, the network, with David Hoffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins, and Matt James. Every Wednesday, you can catch me on The Nerd Zone with Ronnie Coombe, John Danzo, Christopher Lawrence, and Ryan Shaw. Every Friday, you can catch me on College Football Showdown with Israel Rivera. And I hope you guys can tune in. So if you need the links to any of those shows, let me know, and I will gladly get those to you. Enjoy week 3 of the NFL. I'm sure I'll have a lot to say. Send me your football questions. I'll be answering throughout the day. As I said, enjoy the games. And most importantly, stay safe.